Hi, Mel the Fitness Czar here. So what if when you ran you could add an extra 20 pounds of thrust to your foot? What kind of difference would that make? Well, for me it made it an additional speed increase of 10 seconds per one's time around the lap, 400 meters. So I went from running an 85-second quarters to running a 75-second quarter. What a difference. And it happened kind of by accident that I actually discovered, how I could apply Newton's second and third laws of physics to my running. So let me get about to explaining that to you. So this is kind of cool. I was out doing my my exercise program, which I have on my fitness website, and I was noticing the high knees and thinking about it, and thinking about how coaches encourage people to run with high knees and stuff, especially sprinters and stuff, but not so much distance runners. We're taught to be efficient. It's taught to run as easy as possible because you're going to run a long way, so you want to run efficiently and fast. But I had no idea that I was missing out on all this additional speed, which basically didn't cost anything. And I can run easier now and much, much faster. So let me go on and explain this, how it actually works. This is Newton's second and third laws. So over here on my right is a free body diagram, is what we call it, a force diagram. With a body, you have the force of gravity, which is the mass of the body times the gravity, which is, for what it's worth, 9.8 meters per second squared. And that creates a certain amount of newtons of force that pushes us down towards the Earth. Well, the Earth pushes back up, so there's an equal and opposite force, and that's Newton's third law. Well, notice I don't weigh a whole bunch. I weigh about 145 pounds. And over here on your left is actually the scale that I use to measure some of these forces. We're going to be referencing that in just a few minutes, but you'll notice that it's showing that I'm about 650, 675. Right here is my weight. It's 650 newtons times 22 pounds, which is the conversion to go from newtons to pounds of thrust. So we're going to use that as well. Let's go on to our force diagram and talk about it just a little bit more. So when you're out there running, you're pushing off with that trailing leg. You put your foot down and you push off from that leg, and it's that gives you that acceleration, which propels you into the air to the next step. What I didn't think about was an additional force that actually happens. It happens when the other leg goes forward. The leg going forward you wouldn't think would be helping you go forward, but it does. So in Newton's laws, it tells you that if you take a mass and you accelerate it in the direction of travel that you want to go, it creates an equal and opposite force in the other direction. So down here, down by his foot down here, you'll see also an orange force vector. So I've got a blue vector and an orange vector. Well, this is the vector that I wasn't using before. And when I accelerate my leg, the leg that's going forward, I can get about 150 newtons of force going off from just lifting that leg. And that translates into this vector plus the blue vector gives me an additional force. So I'm guessing somewhere in the neighborhood of about an extra 20 pounds of force when I emphasize it a little bit. And it's not a lot of work to do that. And so now I'm 61 years old, and I'm finding myself out there flying down the road now, applying Newton's laws. I really hesitated to even share this with everybody because this is really a breakthrough in running to my knowledge. I looked all over the web. No one else is talking about this. No one else seems to have discovered it. So let's go on further, okay? So we've got this force diagram, and we've now added an extra force vector. Let's go over and look at our force diagrams over here. So I went into the physics lab. I happen to be a substitute teacher now that I'm a retired electrical engineer. I love physics. I love applying, whether it's tennis or running or swimming or whatever it is I do. Physics controls everything. I mean, it controls whether or not an airplane flies, so why not apply it to my running style? So here's what I found out. So here you can see that I've got 3 basic spikes here, okay? Looks like a little earthquake, but there's just 3 times that I went ahead and I pushed off. Well, the one on the far left is missing the upward spike, so we're going to ignore that one. We're going to move to the second one. You can see that it went up to about 150 newtons. That 150 newtons translates over here to about 30 pounds of thrust. I'm guessing that when you're running normal, you're still getting about 10 pounds of thrust by throwing that leg forward. So I'm guessing an extra 20 pounds of this resultant force right here that you're looking at propels us forward. Now, you may be concerned about this dip that comes afterwards. Okay, this dip is actually a good thing, because what are we doing when we actually lift and throw that leg forward? Right after we lift it forward, we want to fly through the air to our next stride. And so this is actually making us lighter. This dip down here makes us lighter as we go towards our next stride. So this force going up is good. It pushes us forward. This one makes us light. It throws us forward. You can see the other dip, I got a little bit more force out of it. Good job, Mel. All right, we're going to go down to the next one. So this is just the force produced by lifting the alternate thigh. Okay, looking down at the next diagram. I had my foot, I was standing on one leg, I bent that leg down, and I just pushed up with my leg to see how much force I could create from one leg pushing off. And as you can see, I got in the neighborhood of about, I'm looking at about 200 newtons, because I went up from my 650 up to about 850, so right in that area, 850-ish. So I'm guessing about 200 newtons, which equates to about 60 to 66 pounds of force propelling me forward. So that's, if you ever wondered how a guy runs a 5-minute mile, this is how you run a 5-minute mile. You have to get force behind you. So what's cool is then I applied both of them together, and voila, they add perfectly to each other. This is lifting my alternate leg and pushing with my back foot at the same time. It resulted in about 350 newtons again, which then converts into my force in pounds. So I hope this makes sense to you. This is basically saying I can use Newton's second and third laws to make me run faster, and I intend to do this. I feel like there's some records that are going to go down by the 61-year-old guy, because I can now run a lot faster. So if you stay tuned, there's going to be a second video that follows, and I'm going to be showing you on the track what we just talked about on the paper, okay? That's it for now. Thanks.